right, today's video is about colored pencil, and we really want to take our time when we are doing the colored pencil. Now, yes, in the earlier video, I showed you that if you had watercolors, you could add that as a first layer in your color, and then once you would get your whole painting done, you would let it dry overnight. Again, we're not painting the vase; that will stay black and white. And what I'm about to teach you goes with regardless if you used watercolor or not. You're going to start adding values to create a more realistic and vibrant flower. So I'm going to use, since I went with a red base with my watercolor, I'm going to have my flower be reddish pink. So I'm going to start with my red, excuse me, and I'm going to start coloring near where the petals are being overlapped by the petal in front of it. And you'll notice that I'm coloring kind of in a circular motion so I don't get scribbles. Also, this paper is pretty thick, but anytime I use colored pencils, I always I have my calendar under it, but I always like to put a little padding, whether it be your portfolio or a couple pieces of drawing paper. Now, I started with the red, and now I'm gonna layer in with some pink to make a more vibrant color, a more complex color. And again, I'm just taking my time and doing small overlapping circles to get a smooth, gradual color within my flower petal. And I'm going to show it a little closer so you can start to see that value coming through. And I'm going to do that in all the areas. You usually have the darker areas in here where the flower petal is closest to where it's getting overlapped by the flower petal in front of it, or maybe even in here where this my words aren't coming out, where my petal overlaps this flower part of the petal. The areas that I go a little lighter with are the areas that are being hit with the light. And if I used watercolor, some areas I won't even have to touch up because the light's there from the watercolor paint. So now I'm kind of coming in. And as you can see, this takes time. You really want to take your time and do each petal, one petal at a time, to really get a beautiful, realistic, and vibrant flower. The same thing would come into play when I would do my leaves. I always like to pick more than one color when I'm doing something so I can blend. So I'm going to go with a little bit of this, I guess, lime green or yellow green. And I'm also going to pick a true green in my box. And I'm going to start with my true green. And I'm going to kind of add in some color here, taking my time. And then I'm going to layer it with my lime green to get a really vibrant, more complex green within my flower and really make it come to life. Now, if you don't have watercolors and you're doing a straight up colored pencil project, which is fine, which is most of you, you're also going to add some color into your table. I suggest leaving your background white if you're not doing watercolor, so that the flowers can really pop out. But you want a little color down here to offset and to balance the color in the flowers. So similar, you're going to pick a color. So since I went with a bluish base, I'm going to go with a soft blue. And remember, in our portraits, I taught you how to use the side of a well-sharpened pencil to neatly and smoothly lay in color with a pencil. You want to do that for your table, always with a nice some padding underneath it, whether it be some nice a few pieces of drawing paper, your portfolio underneath it, and you want to take your time. And this paper is pretty heavy, so it'll also help with that. But you really want to take your time and lay in that color with the side of your pencil so you don't get streaks. And if you want to layer a little bit, go for it. I went with a light blue, so I think I'm gonna with like a nice cornflower blue. So I think I'll take a little sky blue, and with the side of a sharpened sky blue, I'll just add a little something something to elevate that color. All right, that's it. Enjoy.